that the cover exposes the expansion bay. Let's insert an expansion card, power on the device, and if we click the CLI tab, we'll see that the device is actually booting. Right? Let's select the Config tab. The Config tab is similar to using a GUI tool to configure interfaces. What I mean by configuring interfaces, that's when we will assign an IP address, subnet mask, and other variables to a particular interface. We see that the serial 0/0/0 interface has been configured with an IP address and subnet mask. Okay, let's go ahead and click the CLI tab. The CLI tab will be used primarily during the latter part of Net 125, during all of Net 126, Net 225, and Net 226. The CLI interface is used to type text commands to configure routers and switches. Okay, let's take a look at the server. We see the server also has a physical tab, which displays the physical features, exterior physical features, that is, of that particular device. Okay, let's click the Config tab. We see this server can be configured as a web server, DHCP server, TFTP server, DNS server, email server. Again, the Config tab is used to assign IP addresses or configure other variables in a GUI-like manner. We can click the desktop tab. We could use the IP configuration icon to assign an IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. There's the command prompt. This is similar to the command prompt that is seen on any Windows GUI. At this point, we could issue the IP config command to see the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. There's a web browser available. We could configure VPN capability. Let's take a look at PC1A. Again, there's physical tab, config tab, we can use the config tab to assign IP address, subnet mask, also IPv6 address. Okay, let's go to the desktop tab. We can use the IP configuration icon to assign IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS address. If there were an active DHCP server on the local area network, we could select the DHCP radio, and the device will automatically get an IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS address. Since there is no active DHCP server available, we see the DHCP request fail. Okay, when back to the desktop, we could access the web browser, configure VPN, configure email, send and receive email, Use a text editor, which is similar to Notepad. Also configure wireless features. At this point, we're at task 3, which means we're basically done. Notice that we're getting a completion of 50%. Let's click check results. It says the activity is incomplete. Please try again. We could select Assessment Items tab. We see there's a problem at Computer 1A. It says connect to Fast Ethernet 0/1. We didn't do that, so hence we have a 50%. Let's go back and see if we could correct that. So we want to delete this connection. All right. Let's select the appropriate table, which is the copper straight through. Click PC1A. The appropriate port is Fast Ethernet. Click the switch, Fast Ethernet 0/1. And we have 100%. All right, I'm going to inject a disclaimer. There may be times when you complete all of the required tasks within a packet tracer activity, and the completion will be some percent less than 100. And we found from past classes and activities that packet tracer may not accurately score your activity. So again, don't be dismayed, just move forward. There are times when you will be required to save your packet tracer work and submit the file via Moodle. To do so, you click File, Save As. You probably want to save the file to your desktop. The file name isn't important, but you must give it a file name. Click Save. To learn more about uploading a file in Moodle, access Moodle and read the instructions posted. Again, don't worry about a particular file name, just give it a name, because from the instructor perspective, the file is going to be associated only with you by name.